Yo, YouTube family. Y'all already know what it is. Your boy Mikael Ali back with another episode of Prison Chronicles. Giving you the inside scoop of what goes on behind the walls of the prison system in Georgia. Telling you the good, bad, and the ugly, man. Before we get into this episode, y'all already know what it is. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Share this video. Let's get into this. Today, we're going into when gangs collide. All right, when gangs collide, man, I got plenty stories of some bloody messes messing around with, gangs getting into it over, little beefs, man. And when I tell you, shit get ugly, bro. Shit get hectic, shit get ugly. Giving you a little background of, so like in Georgia, man, especially like in Atlanta, I got locked up and went to prison in 2009. And my whole life coming up, there was no, up until like 2010, 2011, that's when gangs started to become prevalent in Atlanta. That's when they hit the scene. And when they hit the scene, that shit spread like wildfire. Next thing you know, it's Bloods and Crips and shit everywhere. But my whole life coming up, so I'm from Atlanta, and I'm from, surrounding areas of Atlanta. I done lived from the inner city to the surrounding areas. But there was no gangs. You had GDs. They used to call themselves folk. I used to wear the black bandanas, or whatever. And that was the only gang. And it really wasn't even too many of them. But there was no Bloods. There was no Crips. There was none of that, right? There was no Vice Lords or Latin Kings or anything like that, right? In Atlanta, you would rep your neighborhood. You would rep your set. You feel me? Whatever project you was from, or you from Bowen Homes, or you from Bankhead Court, or you from, the College Park projects, or, you from this neighborhood, Washington Road, Cascade, West End, Zone 1, Zone 3, whatever, you repped your neighborhood, and they had their little cliques within neighborhoods. So as far as gang culture being a part of Atlanta, that wasn't something. That shit just came on the scene with like Gucci Mane and damn Lil Wayne and people like that, influenced the Atlanta culture, and Bloods just exploded on the scene. But prior to like 2010, it really wasn't no gang activity in Atlanta. So in the chain gang, it was the same way. In chain gang in the 90s, there was no gangs. You had GDs. You had GDs, but in prison in the 90s, everybody repped their city. So if you was from Atlanta, y'all was in the clique. You was from Savannah, you was from Macon, Augusta, Athens, everybody hung together. And then you had the Muslims and the GDs, and everybody, hung together in a clique according to where you was from. That's how it was. That's how the geographical gang structure was in Georgia prison system in the 90s and all throughout the first parts of the 2000s. So when I came into the system in 2009, it really wasn't even a whole lot of gangs still, even in 2009. You had Bloods, you had GDs, but they weren't deep. They didn't have a lot of numbers. It'll be like 5 or 10, blood members in a dorm, and at this time, the Muslims had a more stronger presence in the prison system during those times because there wasn't no gang. So the Muslims were like the only organization that was structured and had a bunch of people, and they really ran the chain gang up until about 2010, 11, 2012, up in that area. So when the gangs got on the scene, they pretty much, came with a real powerful force, and they were pretty much took over the prison system. So in today's story, man, I'm finna get into when the Bloods got into it with the Mexicans, with the Migos, right? And the story went like this. So at the time, it was like 2016, I think, and I was at Telfair. So in Georgia, you have like 5 or 6 level 5 prisons. All right, level 5 prisons, or they call them close security prisons. It's either close security or level 5. It's the same thing. So in Georgia, you have close security, which is like high. Then you have medium security camps. Then you have minimum security camps. All right. Close security or high security, or what they call level 5 security, that's where the violence, you know what I mean, violence is at. You know what I mean, that's where niggas gonna be getting stabbed up multiple times a week, 2-3 times a week. It's always some shit going on, you feel me, in these level 5 prisons. You had Hayes, Telfair, Smith, Macon State, Valdosta, and Waycross. So that was 6, right? Those were the 6 level 5 prisons. I've been to 3 out of those 6. Telfair, Smith, and Macon State. Alright. At this time I was at Telfair, which was the first level 5 prison that I went to when they raised my security up. So for the first half, I did 12 years. So the first half of my bid, the first 6 years, I was in, medium security camps and minimum security camps. So I got to see, sweet side of prison, and I was getting in trouble, getting caught with phones and dirty urines because of weed, failing piss tests and stuff like that because of weed and stuff like that. And they upped my security to a high level security, and then they sent me to, level 5 prisons. And the first one that I landed at was Telfair. So, at Telfair, you had C building and D building, and I broke down how Telfair was structured in another video. C building and D building were the 2 worst buildings. You had C building had C1, C2, D building had D1, D2. Those were the 4 worst dorms on the whole. Those were called thunder dorms. Those are where the young, hothead, stupid niggas is at, and they finna always keep up some dumb shit. And I was in C1 at the time. So I'm in C1, but this is what took place. D1, all right, it really sprung from some activity that happened in D1. So in D1, you had some Mexicans, right? And Mexicans, usually in a dorm, it's not going to be that many Mexicans. It's only going to probably be like no more. It's never going to be no more than about 10 Mexicans. But like I said in previous videos, the Mexicans fucking go hard, boy. The Mexicans finna take your head off, boy. They don't give a damn. And when the Mexicans strike against a gang, they don't give a damn if you blood or GD or Crip. As long as you black, they finna go after everybody black. They don't care. They not finna sit and try to distinguish between who is who. You know what I mean? They don't care. If you black, they finna come get your ass. So the Mexicans were in D1, and it was like 5 of them, right? And they had the only phone in D1, right? And I told y'all in another video how hectic it could be if you got the only phone in a dorm. So the Bloods got together in D1, and they ran up on the Mexicans in that dorm and stole their phone, and they put all of them on the door, right? They kind of like ambushed them. So if you got 30 guys all running up on like 5 guys, it really ain't too much you can do. So they got the phone, and then they told all the Mexicans, hey, y'all got to go. Y'all when you put somebody on the door, that's what putting somebody, they call that putting you on the door, right? Y'all have to move out the dorm right now. Y'all gotta pack y'all stuff. Sometimes they won't even let you pack your stuff. You need to go right now. Go to the door, knock on the window, tell the officer, hey, we gotta go. We gotta get up out of here, right? And then they're gonna send you to the hole. All right. So that would happen. They took the Mexicans' phone. It was like 5 of them, and then the Mexicans went to the hole. All right, they were in the hole for a few days, and then the officers sent these Mexicans to our dorm that was C1. All right, so these Mexicans who just got their phone stole, they came into C1. So everybody heard, I think they were in the hole for like maybe 2 weeks actually. And everybody had heard the story about what happened, you know what I mean? And it was like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, damn, like, we don't nobody really know what these Mexicans gonna do about this situation, right? But I'm gonna tell you how these Mexicans played that shit, right? These Mexicans played this shit so slick, bro. So in C1, it was already a couple of Mexicans in there. So when you added these other Mexicans, now it's like 8 or 9 Mexicans, right? In C1. So let me tell you how these guys played this shit, right? They played this shit so slick, man. They came into the dorm, but they wanted to get the impression that everything was cool, right? Because they was like, these blood guys in D1 took the phone. So the blood guys in C1 really don't got nothing to do with that situation, right? So they came into the dorm, day after day, they making everything seem like everything cool. They even went as far as holding the dorm meeting. So they called on all the heads from all the different organizations, you know what I mean? The head Bloods, the head GDs, the head Muslims and whatever. And we all came into a room and they was like, look, we want to organize the dorm. We want to arrange for cleanup days. Monday is going to be the blood day to clean up. Tuesday going to be this gang, that gang. And, they were saying, okay, let's arrange these cleanup days. And these the Mexicans is talking, right? They weren't orchestrating this meeting. And they was like, we would like to ask y'all if we can get the TV from 4 to like 7, get like 3 hours of TV or 2 hours so that they could watch. They used to always want to watch their news. So Mexico has like a news station, right? And they always want to watch the news, from like 4 to 6 or something like that. And, they was like, okay, these were some things that they wanted, or whatever other little things that they want to talk about. Basically, they are creating an illusion that, like, okay, we plan on being in this dorm for a long time. And that's the perception that they wanted people to think. Like, okay, well, they don't want no smoke. They don't want no smoke. You know what I mean? They trying to lay back and chill in this dorm. And another thing that they started to do to kind of lower the suspicion of everybody, they started buying everybody's stuff, right? They going around. If a blood guy got some shoes, they want some tennis shoes. They buying tennis shoes from people and they paying high prices for them, right? Again, this was a tactic to lower the tension, you know what I mean? They started buying CD players back then. We still had CD players and stuff in the system. They buying people CD players, headphones. They spending $100 on a pair of headphones that ain't nothing but $20. You know what I mean? So yeah, they buying up all this stuff, spending, paying outrageous prices for them, right? And they were in a dorm for maybe about 2 weeks before the shit had popped, right? So this is what they did. And nobody really peeped this, right? Because it was like 7 or 8 Mexicans, right? The day before they buffed the move, all of them shaved their heads bald. They all shaved their heads bald, right? And somebody put me up on game because I didn't even know what that meant. But somebody told me, like, hey, bro, this goddamn all these Mexicans shave their head bald, bro. Apparently, that's like some type of ancient Aztec thing that the Aztec warriors would do before they went to war. They would shave their heads or something like that. You know what I mean? That's what I was told. I don't know. So nobody else really peeping this, right? So in the morning, this is what they did. They popped the shit off in the morning for breakfast. So in the morning, they would call us out to breakfast at like 5 o'clock in the morning, right? And the way Telfair is, when you step outside of your building, it's a little small sidewalk, right? And there's a big ass fence. There's a big fence with barbed wire on top of the fence, right? Or razor wire, rather. Razor wire on the fence. And it is not much room between the door of your building. It may be about 10 feet, maybe, from the building to this fence. And it's a little small sidewalk, right? And then there's a fence to your left, about 30 feet that way, and about 30 feet that way, right? So there's a fence right here, and there's a fence right here, right? So when you step out of your dorm, you fenced in, and you have to wait for an officer to come and unlock each fence, you know what I mean, so that everybody can walk in the line and go to the chow hall, right? So in the morning, when it's time to go to breakfast, everybody would be crowded up in this little space, like some cows, basically, waiting, and you be sitting out there waiting till the officer come and unlock the gate and tell us that we can go, right? So, and also, this was a prime time to hit a major gang, because nobody's really going to bring no weapons to the chow hall because they got metal detectors. So with the metal detectors, you know, when you walking through to go to the chow hall or whatever, at certain points, it's going to be, you're going to end up walking through like 2 or 3 metal detectors before you get to the chow hall. Because at certain points, it's going to be metal detectors. Everybody got to walk through them. So most people know not to bring no knife, you feel me, or nothing to the chow hall. So while we out here waiting in the front, nobody really is armed. Nobody really has no knives, right? So this is what the Migos did. All these blood guys is crowded up over here. And the Muslims, we were, you know, in our little bunch over here to the side. You know what I mean? Everybody kind of like clicked up with their own little cliques. And the 7-8 Mexicans, man, them 7-8 Mexicans came out with their knives, right? Because there's not no metal detector when you first walk out the building. You feel me? It's just metal detectors on down the walk, right? So the Mexicans came out with these fucking machetes, with these motherfucking machetes, man, and these damn swords, man. And I remember the first nigga they hit. The first nigga they hit was the biggest, swollest, biggest badass looking blood dude. I can't remember his name, man. But they hit him in the head, wow, with a machete, bro. And when I tell you, bro, they took a chunk, bro. They took a chunk out the side of this nigga head, bro. But he didn't die. They took a chunk out the side of this nigga head, right? And then they just started going crazy, bro. They started going crazy, bro, on everybody. They started going crazy on everybody. They didn't know who was blood or who wasn't, right? They ran up on us, the Muslims, right? One dude came and ran up on us with a machete. Luckily, we had a Muslim brother who was Mexican. Well, he was Puerto Rican, and he spoke Spanish. You feel me? So when they came and ran up on us with the knife, with the machete, the Mexican, the Puerto Rican brother was speaking in Spanish like, no, these Muslim guys, no, we ain't got none. So the dude ran off and went and started hitting other motherfuckers. Man, listen, bro. These blood niggas was crawling up the fence. Now, it's razor wire up in this fence, right? These niggas is crawling up the fucking fence, and they bodies is like sideways, like turned sideways on some super acrobatic shit, with their bodies like tucked up into the razor wire, trying to get away from these motherfucking blood, from these Mexican niggas down here, bro. And this shit went on for like 15 minutes, bro, because a CERT guy, officer had came and he tried to come and unlock the fucking fence, but he got his key, but he scared his damn self, right? He can't get the fucking key into the fucking hole to unlock the gate, right? To let people out. So everybody yelling at him like, man, hurry up, open up the gate, man. Meanwhile, these Mexicans has got them killing niggas back here, right? And everybody at the fence with the press on the officer like, hurry up, open up the gate, man, let us out here. And the dude, he dropping the keys, picking the keys up, trying to find the right key, trying to put the key in the hole, dropping the key. So it took him a long time to open up the fucking fence, man. And it was one guy. When you got like 15 blood niggas up, stuck in these razor wires trying to get away from these Mexicans. The Mexicans down at the bottom trying to jump up and trying to swing the knives and trying to hit these niggas and shit. It was one dude named Red Rum. Red Rum was a blood guy. He was in the fence. And I don't know if he just got tired and couldn't hang on to the fence no more, or if he just, got bold and courageous right quick. He jumped down from the fence and tried to fight these niggas off, with his bare hands, right? And then by that time, the police came in and they started spraying everybody with pepper spray and shit and tasing motherfuckers and shit. So, when the smoke cleared, bro, these 8 Mexicans fucked up like 20 blood niggas, bro. 20 blood niggas is laid out on the ground, bro. Like bloody, unconscious. One dude died from that situation. One dude had his whole fucking head spliced on the corner of his head is gone, bro. Like his whole wig. And this shit was ugly, bro. And after that, they took all the Mexicans to the hole. All this stuff that the Mexicans had bought, these shoes and these CD players, bro, they didn't give a fuck about none of that shit, bro. That was just a way to deceive people. They left all that stuff, bro. They left all their possessions. They didn't give a fuck about none of that shit. They just wanted some revenge from their phone. And these blood guys who got it wasn't even the one that stole the phone. You feel me? But in chain gang, sometimes it don't matter. Sometimes you don't even want to hit the nigga. You don't even matter if you can't hit the nigga that did it. You want to hit one of his people just to let people know, like, bro, don't fuck with us, bro. Like, bro, don't fuck with me, bro. You know what I mean? Like, niggas ain't bullshitting. You know what I mean? So after that, when them Migos went to the whole, that situation kind of, I don't know if they hit some other blood guys I don't know if they hit some other Mexicans somewhere else around the compound. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure they did, though. I'm pretty sure they hit at least one Mexican maybe around, the compound to try to get some type of get back for that situation. I'm pretty sure they did, but I can't remember exactly what happened. But eventually, that shit just died down, and people just accepted it for what it was. Like, okay, they stole their phone, Mexicans got some get back, fuck that shit, we ain't finna let that shit just drag on and on. So yeah, man, that was that situation, man. But boy, when I tell you, man, I seen so much fucking blood, bro. I done seen so much damn blood, man, behind the wall, man. Don't make no damn sense, man. I done seen so much fucking blood, bro. Like you can't even imagine. Like, you see my white t-shirt? Imagine my whole shirt is red. And you think that my shirt is just a red shirt. Like, I done seen people laying in puddles of blood, bro. I done seen the floors be so bloody to where you slipping up and falling because of the floor so wet and covered with blood, bro. And the smell of blood, bro. If you ain't been around no big massive amounts of blood, bro, you'll never know that blood has a fucking smell. Like, it has a smell to it, bro. It's a lot, man. It's a lot, man. I thank God every day, man, that I was able to make it through that situation with my mind intact, man. Cause that shit do something to a nigga mind, bro. I'm pretty sure I probably got some type of issues or something like that I haven't really, dealt with, or haven't even really affected me like that. But I'm pretty sure it's something, it's stuff that's probably deep rooted in there that's probably affecting me in negative ways that I'm not even aware of, bro. But yeah, man, that's the story for the day, man. That's what goes on, man, when gangs collide and chain gang. I got a fucking 1,000 different stories of that shit. I ain't gonna share every last one of them because most of them is pretty similar. But the main thing that stood out to me in that was when these blood niggas was in that fence, bro. These blood niggas was in that motherfucking fence, in that goddamn razor wire fence, bro, trying to get away from them goddamn machetes, nigga. They trying to get away from the machetes, bro. These niggas up in the motherfucking razor wire. You can't get over the razor wire, cause that shit gonna cut your ass up. But they laying up in that shit like sideways, nigga, like some acrobats, nigga. Like how the fuck you get sideways with your feet, your whole body fucking horizontal in that bitch? Well, that nigga was scared, bro. But I understand, because I probably would have been scared. I was scared as a motherfucker when the motherfucking Migo pulled up on us to the Muslims, goddamn. But yeah, man, that shit was crazy, bro. But yeah, man, we got a lot more to come, man. Y'all stay tuned in, man. Y'all keep on hitting them like buttons and hitting them subscription buttons, man. And y'all follow me, man, for more, man. I appreciate you. Love, peace.